Bella's story doesn't begin with a battle. It begins with laughter. In a small tavern somewhere far from anything important, she sat between two orcs, smiling as though she had already won. Purple-pink hair, light armor, and two swords resting casually across her back. To everyone else, it looked like a simple drinking game. But before every sip, Bella traced a small circle around the rim of her mug, a tiny spell, subtle enough that the orcs never noticed. They simply kept drinking, convinced she would be the first to fall. Well, she never did. When Belle finally left the tavern, she laughed as she waved goodbye, pretending to stumble through the door and playing the part of someone far more drunk than she truly was. She had fooled the orcs, but she hadn't fooled everyone. From the corner of the room, a man with sharp eyes had watched the entire game. He had seen the small circles around her mug, and when Bella left, he followed. She noticed him immediately. Instead of confronting him, she entered another tavern, ordered another drink, and waited. When he finally walked through the door and went through the bar, Bella lifted her mug. To her surprise, he copied the gesture from the previous place. He didn't know what it meant. He simply wanted her to know that he had seen through her trick. Bella smiled. Well, what are you going to do now, Bella? She walked over him and explained that where she came from, a man making that gesture while looking a woman in the eyes wasn't simply raising a glass. It is a promise to share her bed from sunset until sunrise for the rest of your lives. The explanation caught him completely off guard. Bella laughed and admitted that the orcs were never her type. They had simply offered entertaining game. He, however, had apparently found her entertaining enough to follow her halfway across the town. Instead of apologizing, he asked what the gesture meant when performed by a woman. Bella only smiled. That's a secret you haven't earned yet. Curiosity became conversation, conversation became drinks, and before long the two strangers found themselves trying to outsmart each other instead of hiding from one another. They traded stories without revealing too much. Every answer raised another question. Bella tried to discover what kind of a man noticed details everyone else ignored, while Mordred wondered how a cheerful young woman carried herself like someone who had seen far more battles than celebrations. By the end of the night, neither had won their little game, but neither wanted it to end. What began as a curiosity had carried them to the same room. As the candles burned low and the conversations finally gave way to silence, Mordred noticed silver lines shimmering across Bella's skin. Not ordinary tattoos, but elegant sylvan runes over her shoulders, across her chest and down her back, telling a story he couldn't yet read. Bella caught him staring and smiled. It's a legend. One I'll tell you when the time is right, she said quietly. She offered nothing more. Morning arrived sooner than either expected. As Bella stepped outside, she immediately noticed the city guards searching the streets. They weren't looking for a criminal. They were looking for her. Without hesitation, she turned toward Mordred. If you're planning on leaving town today, I know a faster way. Perhaps he should have asked questions. Instead, he climbed onto her horse, and together they rode beyond the city walls. Their escape didn't last long. Deep within the forest, arrows shattered the silence. One buried itself in the ground beside Bella. Another struck Mordred. The cheerful woman from the tavern disappeared in an instant. Steel flashed as Bella drew both swords. She fought with remarkable speed and precision, every strike confident, every movement practiced. Mordred answered with magic, covering the battlefield in darkness while guiding Bella through it with his voice. Together they defeated the attackers. Only one remained alive. Bella walked calmly toward him. Go back, tell them I'm not coming home. Then she severed the head of one of the fallen attackers and dropped it at his feet. Here, it's a gift. There was no anger in her face, only certainty. The following afternoon, they stopped beside a quiet lake. For the first time since leaving the city, they spoke honestly. Mordred told Bella about his journey, about his sister, stolen from him, and the hag he intended to hunt down. Bella listened quietly. Then she decided that if someone was going to walk beside her, he deserved the truth. She removed part of her armor, revealing the sylvan runes flowing across her skin. Do you remember the story written on my skin? Bella asked as she stepped into the water. The words tell an old legend. Every new moon, a giant climbed the highest mountain and reached his hand towards the sky. The moon goddess would descend into his palm, hiding from the world for a single night. That's why the stories say the moon disappears from the sky once every month. She drew her both blades. This one is Fanyar, cloud, and this one is Sa, fire. Bella carefully adjusted the swords until the last rays of the setting sun caught their blades. the clouds reflecting across Fanyar, slowly forming the rough outline of a giant's face. Firelight danced upon Sa, revealing the gentle face of a moon goddess. I wanted them to stay together forever, Bella said softly. So I forged their story into my blades. Each protects me in a different way, and together they carry the legend wherever I go. Mordred watched the reflection in silence, unable to look away. He thanked Bella for sharing something so personal. Then, almost without thinking, he stepped closer and kissed her gently on the forehead. Bella closed her eyes and smiled. "They are always together," she whispered. "Inside me." Mordred looked from Bella to the swords and back again. "I am their daughter, Mordred." Mordred looked at her, then at the two blades resting in the water, trying to reconcile the cheerful young woman he had met in the tavern with the impossible story now unfolding before him. The giant and the moon goddess. They were real, he said quietly. She let her fingers drift across the surface of the lake. I didn't know the truth for most of my life. I grew up believing this was just an ordinary legend, and I am just an ordinary girl. My guardian raised me, protected me, and kept my parents' secret. Then a few nights ago, another god, the Storm Lord, came for me. He wasn't there to hurt me, he was there because my time was running out. She paused. My guardian finally told me the truth. My parents broke laws that even the gods are not meant to break. To keep me hidden, each of them sacrificed part of their own divine power. They bought me time. 1 year from my father, 1 year from my mother. 2 years. She looked back at Mordred. That's all I have left. The Storm Lord told me that when those 2 years end, I'll have to face the trial of ascension. I don't even know exactly what the trial is. Only if I survive it, I'll earn the right to carry the title of a demigoddess. And if I fail... She didn't finish the sentence. She didn't need to. The guardian who raised me admitted he couldn't prepare me for something like that, so I left. I have 2 years to become someone worthy of surviving a trial no one can truly explain. She smiled again. I have no idea where this road will take me. I only know I don't want to walk it alone. She looked at Mordred. I don't expect you to abandon your own journey. We'll find our sister. We'll hunt the hag. And while we do it, maybe I'll become strong enough to survive mine. Bella's journey begins with a single challenge. To prove her strength and become something greater. To reach that goal, Bella will face a series of trials. Each trial represents a different step on her journey. And every one has its own reading challenge. Some will ask for a specific genre, others will for theme, creatures, covers, or even particular character archetype. Completing a trial helps Bella grow stronger, bring her one step closer to the trial of ascension. But Bella isn't traveling alone. That's why she has a special companion mechanic. If you'd like to body read with me, you'll become Bella's companion for the month's trial. Whenever Bella has a companion, she only needs to complete one book that matches the trial theme. In some cases, that means she'll be able to complete 2 trials with a single book. At the beginning of every month, I'll roll the dice to see which character story continues next. If fate chooses Bella again, she'll face the next trial on her journey towards becoming a demigoddess. And if you'd like to body read with me, you'll become her companion for that challenge. First trial is the trial of origin. Theme: mythology and gods. Objective: read 2 mythology-related books. This challenge I'll do myself. The first book that came into my mind was the Percy Jackson and the Olympian series. Because I was a teenager when the book first came out, I wasn't really into reading at that time. Or at least not into the mainstream books. Which honestly, I think it's still true today. I only watched the movie back then, and now, so many years later, I finally decided to read some of Rick Riordan's books. Because I'm a little late with this video, I already finished the book, and I absolutely loved it. Now I understand why these stories have so many books, so many fans, and why they are such a great way to younger readers to fall in love with reading. I'm sure this book doesn't need a detailed review from me, because, as I said, I'm very late to the party, but I did read it, and I still have one more book to finish in order to complete this trial. So, here are some of my thoughts about Percy Jackson, and then we'll continue with the role for the next character. Maybe Bella will come up again, and we'll be right on time for the new reading month and a fresh stack of books. I really enjoyed all the adventures that weren't included in the movie. The film only showed a few of them, but the book had so many more great moments. I was genuinely surprised and excited to discover those parts of the story. Percy actually reminded me of myself when I was a teenager. I wasn't the smart one, I was definitely the rebellious one. Maybe that's why I never really saw myself in characters like Hermione or Annabeth, even though I have similar eyes like Annabeth. It's time for the new role, and the new character for the month of August is Inari. See you in the next video, where you will discover her story, her mechanics, and the books that I will read for her.